Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to be walking you through how to set up a drawing file that has a table that includes all the properties of this actual part that we have here. And so we're going to start, before we go any further, by just simply coming up here, and notice I have the bodies menu, I have expanded, and I have body 1, the only body that we have in this particular part. I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to choose properties. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it's going to be necessary for me to keep this material available, these numbers up here. What happened is that's a way for me to display the surface area, 52.786 square inches, the density of the material, which because it's red oak, the material is determines the density. So this particular material, red oak, has a density of 0.389 ounces per cubic inch. We have a mass. This part would weigh 3.473 ounces if we put it on a digital scale, or something really, really close to that. Ounce masses is a little bit different, but it's just kind of above and beyond what we need to talk about in IED. We have 8.928 cubic inches of volume in material here, which would be helpful if you're going to like 3D print or something like that. And we can see the physical material and the appearance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. I'm going to open up my snipping tool first. Snipping tool from our Windows machine. I'm just going to take a quick capture of this. I'm going to keep this off to the side so that I don't have to flip back and forth later on. Now, here's what we're going to do next. Cancel out of this, and let's go back over here. We're going to click on the drop down. We're going to choose a new drawing from the design. Click OK, because it asked me to save. I've changed some things. And we're going to go use, instead of the from scratch template, we're going to go use our English title block that we set up and used in this class before. That's setting up an English units piece of paper that's 8.5 by 11 is basically all it's doing. And it also has our title block at the bottom already pre-filled in. Okay, so full assembly doesn't matter. There's only one part here. So we're just going to go ahead and click OK. And so it's going to ask me to place then the view of this object. And so I'm going to come over here, and for this particular assignment, here's what I want you to do. Let's just choose the home view. That way I can see your name. Let's change the scale to be, let's see what 2 looks like. Oh, that is way too big. So let's try 1.25 maybe. Sure, 1.25 looks great. Let's use that. Left click over here, come back, choose shaded, so it has the coloring. It looks like pine wood when we're done, and we'll click OK. Now it's going to place this here, and it should look exactly like your part. But you're not done yet. There are a couple of things that I need you to do before you turn this thing in. One of those is going to involve adding a table. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click Table, and I'm going to come over here, and instead of choosing a drawing view, instead of filling it in with parts, so if I use this as it is, what it's going to do is it's going to fill in parts, it's going to fill in the description, it's going to fill in the name of the part, all kinds of stuff. I don't want any of that for now. We'll get to that later on. For now, we're going to choose an empty table, okay? And I know I'm going to need more information this, but I'm going to go ahead and start. Now notice if I go to the bottom, the table flips upside down. See that? So I need to make sure I just come up here, I'm going to click at the top, and I can move this later on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say, properties, physical properties. There we go. That's a good title for this table. And what we're going to do is then come over here, and we need to delete the third and fourth columns, or at least get it down to 2 columns. So I'm going to come over here and delete 2 columns. And we also are going to need some additional rows, because what we're going to type in just a second is going to be the following information. We're going to type in the area, the density, the mass, the volume, the physical material, and the appearance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of information that needs to be down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's come over here and add 2 more. 5, 6. Okay, close this. Let's go over here now. Let's grab one of these dots, like this one here. Let's go ahead and just drag this down kind of out of the way. And we're probably going to need to stretch it out a little bit. So we're just kind of redoing the sizing, okay? Something along these lines work just fine, okay? And again, you can monkey around with this. Your job is just to make it look decent, okay? So here we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of pull this off to the side, so I can see both of these things at once and just make my life a little bit easier. And I'm going to start typing in the following things. The area in inches squared, and that's shift and 6 to get that little caret for the squared symbol. We have the density, which is in ounces per cubic inch. We have the mass, which is in ounces. And I don't care if you specify ounce mass. We have the volume, which is in inches cubed. We have the physical material, and we have the appearance. Okay, and then we're just going to go type in the numbers over here. So this would be 52.786, 0.389, 3.473, 8.928. This is red oak, and it's appearing to be pine. So I'm just going to fill in this information, and what that does is it allows us to put in some information that's going to be kind of important into our drawing file. So we only have a couple of things left to mention. First of all, you are doing this on your own with dial calipers, which means your measurements could be close, so everybody should have an area relatively close to 52. Everybody should have the same density because we're using the exact same physical material of red oak, but your mass may be slightly different, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5. Your volume could be slightly different. Somewhere just under 9 would be probably about correct, okay? But if your numbers vary slightly, I want you to type in the numbers that you actually get from the table. I'm not concerned about whether they're exactly correct or not. That's not the point, okay? You also need to come down here and make sure that at some point in time, you do double click on the title block and you fill it in with your information. So Brett Kister, and this is the 17th of January 2018, and we're calling this 5.2b, Intro to CAD. You know what? Let's go 5.2b passenger body, because really that's what this is. Okay, there we go. Fills in the title block. And what you're going to do is you're going to output a PDF to me by clicking on this button, and you'll turn that PDF in for grading. Hopefully this makes sense. If you have any questions about setting up this empty table, about adding this view, again, this is 1.25 times the normal size, editing the title block, any of that information, please do not hesitate to ask.